Hello, you guys. Welcome back to As Told by Kenya. In today's video, we are going to talk about all things Real Housewives of Atlanta. We have the stuff with Kenya. Kenya did an interview with Carlos King. We have the stuff about Martell not paying for Sheree's birthday dinner. And then I did watch the most recent episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, so we can kind of hit on that, everything that's going on with that. Kandi also did a speak on it where she discussed some things with Nene and the stuff with Phaedra and all of that. So we can discuss all of that. So first, let's start with Kenya's interview with Carlos King. So Nene did a two-part interview with Carlos King. We discussed that. Now Kenya has gone on to Carlos King's podcast and done an interview. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am not someone sitting here wondering what thoughts Kenya has, because quite honestly, Kenya is still on Real Housewives of Atlanta. So whatever thoughts, feelings, concerns that Kenya has could be brought up on the show so we can have a better show. So I just am not interested in what Kenya has to say, because an issue with the current installment of Real Housewives of Atlanta is we don't know what's going on in anyone's life. We don't know what's going on anyone's mind, anything like that, because these people on this show do not have to share anything. Therefore, we don't get a good show. And so it's just like, whatever the hell she's telling Carlos King, why the hell am I not getting that on the TV show? I said the same thing about Kenya opening a salon. Like, we ain't seen nothing about that on the television show. It's just brought up kind of like it's fleeting, and like it's already done now. Like, I don't even know what that is supposed to even be. And it's like, why is none of that coming up? Kenya will talk about personal things like on the Carlos King podcast, and I'm just like, why is that not coming up on the show? The stuff going on with Mark, she has been trying to divorce Mark for almost half a decade, and like nothing is coming of that. Like on the show, we don't know nothing about that. So it's just like, I'm what you want me to do, because it's just like, this is the stuff that should be talked about on the television show that she makes several $100,000 to be on, you know? So I'm just like, this is why the show sucks, because like all the real stuff has been happening behind the scenes. But we get the Carlos King episode. We get the Carlos King Kenya interview. I'm sorry. So let's start with things I did enjoy about the interview. The behind the scenes stuff. I love talking about the making of good reality TV, because I say this all the time. As someone who respects reality TV, I know what goes into making good reality TV. When it comes to competition shows, when it comes to just regular reality shows about people's life, in order to get a good season of both of those things, it is because there are producers and people involved who are making sure you are getting a good show. Rarely does it just happen by chance, where it's just like, we got a bunch of people together and it all just worked out. In order for things to be working, it has to be working in a perfect symphony. Everyone has to be doing their job. It takes work. It takes studying. It takes wanting to show up every day and do a good job. And what I loved about Kenya, and she was saying how she became a housewife, you see everyone clocking in. You see everyone trying to make the best show possible. She was talking about how she had to get vetted to even become a Housewives of Atlanta. You would think someone like Kenya, who is absolutely gorgeous, who was Miss USA, she has been in movies, very popular movies, it would be easy to just put Kenya on the show. But no, they wanted Kenya to bring something to the table. Kenya had to, film with people. She had to show that she had things going on in her life. She discussed how when her and Porsha got into that big fight at the charity event, neither of them had peaches. She discussed how all the other girls went on strike and wouldn't film. So you have Phaedra, you have Cynthia, you have Kandi, and you have Nene. And well, Sheree was gone by then. You had all of them. They would go on strike because they felt like Kim was getting special treatment. I will tell you, Kim was getting special treatment. And they were like, we're not going to do that, because Kim never had to show up to nothing. She ain't never had to be nowhere. And she got a whole spinoff, And so they weren't filming. And that's when the production company was like, well, production is down, so we might as well go follow Kenya and Porsha. And Kenya was talking about how they kept giving her the runaround. She kept showing up to do scenes, showing up to do scenes, and they wouldn't just say, you're a peach holder, you're a peach holder. She was getting tired. So I enjoyed what goes into it, because the problem with, I think, all reality TV right now, not even just Real Housewives, but all reality TV, is the vetting. The vetting is not happening. People are not doing like test groups. People are not having people film with each other. People are not really dissecting what would make this personality and this personality collide. What would bring these two personalities together? Why would this person be good for TV? Like they were talking about on the interview, people are just seeing what's on paper. For example, Sonya. Sonya looks good on paper. Sonya looks good on paper. Sonya is an Olympic, like a 4-time Olympic gold medalist. Sonya has a nice family. Sonya has a little change in her pocket. Sonya, had a reality show before. Like on paper, Sonya seems like she would be good. Another person on paper, Marlo seems like Marlo would be good. Marlo has been on the show a while. Marlo brings drama. Marlo speaks her mind. But like, if y'all would have just tested this out, if you would have just tested Sonya, if you would have just tested Marlo for a good chunk of time, you would see they don't work. They don't. We saw immediately that Sonya doesn't work. We're seeing immediately that Marlo doesn't work. Like something isn't working. And I don't want to just blame those two girls. It could be the people around them are not working. But this dynamic that we currently have does not work. And it shouldn't take it reaching my eyes on my television on Sunday for me to see it doesn't work. Y'all should have been testing this out. Y'all should have been like, okay, let's have Sonya and Drew test with each other. Then let's have Drew, Sonya, and Kenya test with each other. And then have this person. Like, another thing, why is Monyetta there? Monyetta also does not work. Monyetta does not work. Why is Monyetta still sitting here? And it's just like, y'all keep dragging this on, but it's like, it took one episode for me to see Monyetta not working. Monyetta is not interesting. Monyetta wasn't interesting last year. Like, Monyetta does not work. And why is she still showing up? Like, why is this still something that is making it to my television? It shouldn't. It should be cut. It should be chopped. But no, they don't care. They simply do not care. Too many cooks in the kitchen and no one who's heavily invested. Everyone has their own agenda why they're bringing on certain girls and all of this. And it's just like, it's not working because you guys aren't testing it out. You're just seeing what looks good on paper. This person is friends with Candy. This person is friends with this person. This person gonna beef with this person. And you're putting them on the show and it just all crumbles. It all crumbles. For example, I think Courtney works. I think if there was a different dynamic, Courtney would work. I think the same thing with Drew. Drew works as a housewife. This dynamic is just bad, and that's just like, I'm not even a producer, nowhere near. So I don't know nothing about nothing, but I can see it with my eyes that in a different group, Courtney would be great. Courtney just doesn't have anything to work with this. So like, that friend of the show, Courtney works as a friend of the show, but like, put people around her. Drew works as a housewife. The problem is Sonya don't work, Marlo don't work, and Sheree don't work as housewives. So like, it's making Drew also look like a dud. Kenya and Candy could bring something to the show, but like, everybody else is a dud. So what the hell are they gonna do? You get what I'm saying? But like, y'all should have tested this out. So I enjoyed that aspect. What I really enjoyed the most was Kenya talking about her personal life. Now, I will say in earlier seasons, we did get Kenya talking about her mom, that heartbreaking episode when she went to go visit her mom and her mom didn't want to see her, all of that stuff. Like, I love that aspect of Kenya. I always say, no, I do not like Kenya Moore, but there are certain things we see of Kenya Moore where I'm like, Kenya Moore could be someone I like. And when Kenya talks about her family and she talks about the way she grew up, you see a more vulnerable side of Kenya, and that's the best side of Kenya. Or when you see Kenya with Brooklyn, or when you see Kenya having fun with the rest of the girls, that's when you're like, Kenya, you could be so great. But anyway, she was talking about how her mother tried to get her crown stripped away from her and how her mother didn't want her. But I think the best part of what Kenya was talking about was when she was talking about her grandmother, when she was talking about how she didn't ever really feel like she wasn't loved because she had a grandmother. Like, her grandmother lit up when she saw her. From day 3, from the 3rd day she was born, her grandmother took her in and raised her and gave her love. And I just love that idea. As someone who absolutely adores their grandmother, I never related to Kenya Moore, and I never related to Kenya Moore and we have the exact same name. But like, that moment, I'm just like, yes, I get that. I love that. I love Kenya talking about her personal life. Now the question is, why the hell are we not talking about this on the show? on the show. What is going on with Aunt Lori? What's going on with everybody else? We did get, Kenya used to have like a lot of people around her. Like you used to get Brandon. You used to get a bunch of people around Kenya. But now Kenya just feels like such an isolated like character. Like you get Brooklyn, of course, who is adorable as the day is long. And then you don't get nothing else from Kenya. So like that's annoying to me. There are some things I have to push back on with Kenya. It is clear that Kenya 100% listens to her fans. And like Kenya Moore fans, there's a lot of like sections of Housewives, like fandom I do not enjoy. And Kenya Moore stans are like up there because they're revisionist. They act like you haven't watched the same exact show they watch. So they like to make things up that are just simply not true. They try to make Kenya the victim in situations that Kenya was not the victim of from what we saw on our TV. So I can never do too much with a Kenya Moore stan because I'm just like, you kind of lying. And you know, Kenya was telling a few untruths in this, they're her opinions. It's how she sees it. So I'm not going to say untruths, but things that just don't fully check out. Number one, she said she dragged everybody in that season 5 reunion. Please, I just recently, but even before this interview, I watched the season 5 Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion because I'm doing my Real Housewives of Atlanta rewatch. Kenya did not drag nobody on that reunion stage. Kenya did get a couple good digs in. She did say, Apollo, stop texting me, and that was great. She also had like another great moment, but like overall in that reunion, baby, they was mopping the floor up with her. She had a fan me off. I'm hot, hot, hot. She had a fan that reunion, and that fan was doing a lot of work. And they were coming at Kenya full blaze. And every time she ain't had nothing to say, she was fanning herself off because, baby, they was coming at Porsha. Porsha wasn't even in her final form yet. This is Porsha who was still with Cordell. Cordell is not perfect by far. That's the Porsha we was getting, and Porsha was still getting into Kenya's ass. But the real person who was in Kenya's ass that whole reunion was Phaedra. Phaedra was pregnant, and Phaedra was fed the fuck up. That is Phaedra's best reunion performance. A lot of people would go on to be like, love Phaedra's reunion performance the next season. But no, Phaedra's actual best reunion performance is the season 5 reunion. I totally forgot about this reunion until I recently rewatched it. Baby, Phaedra would not get off Kenya's neck. There is a section where they are talking about the donkey booty versus stallion booty DVD tapes, and baby, Phaedra was clean, like dog walking her. Phaedra got Kenya got dog walked by Phaedra doing that segment. I was just like, whoa. When she said, in the words of Whitney Houston, show me the receipts, and that's before people were like really, really saying that. Like now, people say it all the time, like, show me the receipts. No, this was back before like everybody was saying that, and Phaedra pulled that one out. Like she was dog walking. You knew she was dog walking Kenya. Phaedra started pointing out everything that was fake about Kenya. She said, your butt fake, your hair fake, your eyes fake, your green eyes. Like Phaedra was not getting off her neck. And you want to know what Kenya said? Kenya said, you know what is real? My heart. Like Kenya was scrambling. But I'm going to give Kenya credit though. On that reunion, they were tag teaming her ass. Like they were jumping her. And you know what? There is not a lot of people who can sit in the kitchen and take the heat. Like, yeah, she lost many a battle that night. She did. She lost many a battle that night, but many people would not even be alive after the battle. Like, would not even, like the husbands came out and they was tag teaming her, and like they were all coming for Kenya, and Kenya at least took the heat. She didn't cower away from nobody, but that fan she had was doing a lot of work. Porsha would say something and she would just have to ignore Porsha. And it's just because you ain't got nothing to say, baby. It's because you ain't got nothing to say, baby. They was tag teaming Kenya ass. And when Kenya sits up there and says like, I dragged everybody. I mean, you got a couple of digs in. And like I said, I'm always going to give you credit for sticking in there because there is not many housewives on their first season who could take the heat like that because you get a Giselle Bryant. Giselle Bryant gets heat thrown at her and just don't say nothing. So I will give Kenya credit for being the villain. And you know what? She let everybody throw their daggers. She let everybody throw their daggers and she tried her best. And that's what I'm going to give her. But that season 5 reunion is not a good outing for Kenya. That's just one of those things where delusional Kenya Moore stands just like to act like she's just clearing the place down, but like she did not. That reunion was a slugfest, and Phaedra was bringing the heat. And the thing is, Phaedra, I am no Phaedra apologist. You can check the Carfax. I do not believe Phaedra should come back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't even understand why Phaedra is on Married to Medicine. I think Phaedra's time at being like, if you take all the controversy aside, I think Phaedra's time of just being good for reality TV is over. Like, I just do. Like, I don't even think she's going to be that great on Married to Medicine. I just think her, it's been done before. Like, I just think we're trying to, like, you know, strike lightning twice and it's just done. So I am not a Phaedra apologist. I just call it like it is. Like, Phaedra wasn't even trying and she was dog walking Kenya. Every time Kenya would stay, like, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. What is happening here? And Kenya just wasn't ready. I don't think Kenya would become a good reunioner until season 7 because you get next season. That's when Porsha gonna literally dog walk her across the stage. And also another thing, Kenya Moore stands, Miss Kenya is such the victim. In that season 5 reunion, I believe Kenya threatens a pregnant Phaedra. She threatens to like knock Phaedra's teeth out. And you could be like, oh, they just, you know, talking back and forth. But she acknowledges the fact that Phaedra's pregnant. She's like, I will knock your teeth out pregnant and all or something. And when it got to that, I was like, you lost. You talking about beating up a pregnant lady. You talking about beating up a pregnant lady. You lost. So the idea, like that shows you the desperation Kenya was in. You know what is real about me, Phaedra? My heart. I said, bitch, shut up. Once we get to that, bitch, shut up. But no, I believe season 5, number 1, is an underrated reunion and enjoyment. It is so good. You got Porsha singing. You got Cordell is not perfect by far. Nene is just sitting there cackling the entire time. Nene is just here for the mess. Like, that reunion is so underrated because I think it's the fairest fight amongst everyone. But I don't think Kenya will become a good reunioner until season 7. Like, you stop getting props. Like, Kenya was texting in the season 6 reunion. Then she has the scepter. Like I told you, that fan she had was doing a lot of work because, baby, they was in her ass. But she withstood the heat, and I will give her that. The number 2 thing Kenya's not telling the truth about is her relationship with Porsha. Kenya just didn't like Porsha. Kenya just has to explain why she didn't like Porsha. If you don't want to say it's jealousy, okay, fair enough. Pick something else. But maybe did you just do it because the show was running? Like, why did you not like Porsha? Like I said, I have just done a rewatch of season 5. So I know how all of these episodes go. Kenya ain't never like Porsha. Kenya showed up to the charity event not wanting to goddamn be there. And then in her interview with Carlos King, she said that she was like, I saw Cordell give her a Chanel purse and I was like, what are we doing? This is charity. And it's like, sure, but also who fucking cares? Like, the fact that got you, so you're saying that's the thing that irked you, is just kind of like, you just don't like Porsha. Because if anybody else would have did that, you would have thought nothing of it. And also, I don't think in season 5, Kenya, that's something that Kenya also would not have done. Like, that's the thing I don't like about Kenya Moore's stance. It's like, Kenya Moore get to do any and everything to everybody. And then when somebody does something that she thinks is in, like, poor taste, she, like, says, well, I just didn't like that. And people are like, well, Kenya just didn't like that she gave her Chanel purse. But it's just like, but Kenya do stuff in poor taste, too. Like, Kenya showing up with the booty pads, making fun of Phaedra. Kenya ruining Marlo event. Kenya Moore hair care. Like, she get to do stuff that's tacky as hell, too. And it's just, like, jokes, ha-ha, fun, fun, fun. But, like, when somebody else do it, if it rubbed Kenya the wrong way, then, you know, she got every right to be mad. Like, Cordell gave Porsha a Chanel purse, and yes, at a charity event, it's tacky, but that's what it is. It's tacky at worst. It's tacky at worst, but that's the thing that got you so beside yourself. And the biggest lie is her saying that Porsha, like, giggled off her calling her Miss America. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. At worst, Porsha like just was like, oh, like, okay, whatever, like that's at worst. But at best, what Porsha did was acknowledge she was wrong and say sorry. Literally, Porsha called her Miss America. Kenya said it's Miss USA. Porsha goes, oh girl, I'm sorry. And literally corrects herself and goes, Miss USA. Which I'm sure, you said you were embarrassed, but I'm sure Porsha is also embarrassed. And you were done with Porsha since that moment. And it's just like, you're lying. You're making it seem like Porsha really like vengefully was coming for you, and that simply was not what that was. Now, I wasn't at the event, so you have to tell me, Kenya, if like, you know, she said something else on that stage, but like, you were mad the moment you came in there, then you were mad stupidly over the Chanel purse, and then you was mad about the her calling you Miss America, which is fine to be mad at, because what's in a name? What is in a name? Names are important, right? Like you should always call people by whatever they want to be called. And then she invited you there, so she should get your name right. I'm on your side all the way with that. But Porsha said sorry and she corrected herself, and I'm sorry. What you want her to do after that? Come kiss your ass? Like, you didn't like Porsha. I just want Kenya to admit she did not like Porsha. Kenya still don't like Porsha. Even in that interview, she was over there acting like Porsha's ugly. Porsha has never been ugly. Has never been ugly. So she was saying, like, people saying I'm jealous. Why would I be jealous of that? I seen beauty. Why would I be jealous of that? Porsha is nobody's ugly. Porsha has never been nobody's ugly. Porsha, in my opinion, looks better with age. Like, Porsha has never been nobody's ugly. So, like, you sitting up there even doing that, being like, what I got to be jealous of? Porsha got body for days and always has. Like, Porsha looks good and has always looked good. So, like, yeah, you could be jealous of Porsha. So I don't like that. That's the part about Kenya I don't like. Like, the twisting the truth to make it match a narrative. You was a villain, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. You worked. You got fans because you was a villain. You was a villain, and that's fine. Them arguing on the curb is so good. I'ma sit on the curb. On the curb is where you belong. Like, they was going toe to toe. Porsha and Kenya are magic with each other. And I wish Carlos King asked Kenya who, like, was the best sparring partner for her. I wish she would admit what the truth is. It's Porsha. Porsha and Kenya were such good sparring partners. Like, but she won't give Porsha the credit because she don't like Porsha for some reason. She gave Nene and Kenya don't really go at it that much. For, like, them to be, like, the two, like, head honchos of the franchise, Nene and Kenya didn't really go at it that often. There was many, like, Kenya and Nene, like Kenya said, were frenemies. Like, they never really had a moment where, like, they had a few moments, but, like, her real sparring partner is Porsha. Like, her real sparring partner is Porsha. Her and Porsha make magic together. I'm sorry. Their chemistry is so good. And yes, like, I mean chemistry and, like, the negative chemistry they have with each other. They're good. Like, they're just good. Because no one understands why the two of them just can't get along, but they just don't. They just don't get along. Even now, it seems like they like each other. And look, Kenya's still throwing digs at Porsha. And Porsha would still throw digs at Kenya. Like, they're just a good match. They're a good match. They go toe-to-toe. It's good. It seems evenly yoked. I think Nene is a better dragger than Kenya. And that's why I never fully enjoyed the Nene versus Kenya spars. Because Nene was better at sparring, in my opinion. Like, Nene is just fast. Nene is just fast and quick-witted. She got reads for days. Like, I always thought Nene was just better at that. And then Phaedra does this, like, nice, nasty thing where it's just, like, it didn't make Phaedra and Kenya, I think, compatible. That's why in that season 5 reunion, when Phaedra is just got on their head, they just don't have the chemistry needed because I think Phaedra just deeply fucking can't stand Kenya. And then that Porsha and Kenya are the best because it's so stupid. It's so stupid and fun because it's just like, what the fuck do the two of you hate each other? Now, when they started dragging each other on the floor, that was a lot, child. But anyways, we can move on. So those were the two things that Kenya was just not being fully honest on. Like, you ain't dragged nobody in that season 5 reunion except for Apollo. Stop calling me. You ate that one thing. Apollo, stop texting me. And yeah, that's what I think. I think next episode we will talk about everything with Apollo when it comes to text gate and phone call gate, and you wanted to S Apollo's D gate. I'm on Kenya's side with that. Apollo was dead, was lying, and I think Phaedra was in on the lie. I think they were just lying on Kenya. Yes, Kenya did inappropriate things with Apollo, as in like the things they were doing the pool, and why was you texting her man? And I think at one point, like when she went to go talk to Candy, because Candy came to address Kenya when they was doing like some class where you like spin around on the ropes, whatever. She did send some weird text message to Apollo, but I think that was the worst of it. I think it got blown out of proportion. So Kenya was carrying it, and I do think Phaedra should have been mad at Kenya. And Phaedra did give a lot of smoke to Apollo. That's where I don't know. Like, people are like, she should have been mad at Apollo. She was mad at Apollo. We get the scenes where she literally is like cursing Apollo out. Like, she hated Apollo ass. So, like, I don't know. I think Apollo was dead fucking wrong the most and all of that. So I'm willing to hear Kenya out more on the Apollo thing. I think that went way further than it needed to, because they would go on to talk about that up until like the season 7 reunion. They were like, that got blown out of proportion. Anyways, let's move on. Martell invited Sonya and Marlo to Sheree's birthday dinner with their mans, and Martell didn't pay. We can get this very quick. Martell either broke or he cheap or both. Like, there is no way somebody's boyfriend is going to invite me to a birthday dinner and he not gonna try to pay. I am sorry. Number one, ain't too many men gonna be sitting at the table I'm at and a credit card not gonna come out, because the way I'm set up, I would pay for everyone. And that's just me, and that just becomes, I think it becomes a conversation of who you are as a person, because like, if we all sitting around and we had a good time and it's time to pay, like, I know I would pay for everybody. And so people who got more money than me, one, and two, like, you invited all of them out, why would you not pull your card out and pay that $1,500 bill? Is it really that? Is it really all of that? Like, I just know if you invite everybody out to dinner for your girlfriend, yes, you supposed to pay. Yes, you supposed to pay. And that's why I'm so happy Sonya brought it up. Like, we went out with Todd and Todd paid for everybody, because like, if you claim you got it like that, get it like that. Like, somebody get this bill. So I am not about to sit at a table with a bunch of people who swear they popping. You got Sheree who swear she popping. Marlo swear she popping. Sonya swear she popping. Martell swear he popping. Everybody swear they popping. And I'm getting Venmo requests. Oh, y'all can go to hell. Oh, y'all can go to hell. Y'all can go. I'm going to pay this bill. And I promise you, y'all better not invite me to another thing. Don't invite me to another thing. The thing is, Sheree shouldn't have paid. Like, right, it's Sheree's birthday. Sheree should not have paid, period. So if Sheree would have invited the girls out, I would get Sheree being like, you know, Sheree still should have paid in the end. But if, like, people didn't offer to pay, Sheree has every right to be like, it was my birthday and none of them wanted to pay the bill for me. Sheree will be well into her right to say something like that, right? But if your man invite us out, oh, he should pick up the bill. He should pick up the bill. He should pick up the bill. Venmo, Cash App requesting people. Like, I'm not even giving you my phone number to be Venmo or Cash App and requesting me. I am about to go pay this bill and tell you to leave me the hell alone. To leave me the hell alone. Oh my God, 8 people. I think there was 8 people at that goddamn party, and the bill was $1,500. Like, what? That's not even $200 a plate. Come on. But you know what? This get the girls fighting. When it comes to splitting bills and splitting checks, the girls get to fighting. I don't know why this causes so much, like, rifts between people, because I'm of the belief that I'm assuming, like, you hang around people who are in the same socioeconomic class as you. Therefore, like, you know if y'all the split bills crew. Y'all know if y'all the split bills crew. Like, if you and your friends always split the bill, y'all split the bill. Like, so it shouldn't be all this, but, like, where I come from, if somebody, man, invite all the girls out for a birthday dinner, somebody pay, one person is paying for everything. I don't know. And maybe I'm a little longer in the tooth Then some of y'all, like, I know I look young, fit, and fresh, but like maybe I'm a little longer in the tooth. But my days of itemizing a bill with the girls fled in college. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. And then if it's someone's like special day, if I go out of my way to like for example, even over the past weekend, I went out with people and there was one person who like we were doing all of this for. You think I'm gonna make her pay? You think I'm gonna make her pay? Like, we literally made her come out of her way because we wanted to do something for her. Like, this was something so we could catch up with her. Like, you coming here is the gift. Like, you've done enough. You coming here and wanting to catch up with us is the, so I'm gonna pay for your meal. Like, I don't know. I just don't think it's that deep. Like, at most, y'all arguing over $100. But like I said, don't fight me. If you and your friends split the bill and you ain't paying for no other bitches and that's how you give it up, you and me don't have never gone out to like nowhere. So I don't think it matters that much. Like, I don't think we have to argue back and forth. I tuned in to the last episode of Real House. Oh, and Sheree's an idiot. Sheree be stuttering over her words. And I was about to say, I watched the recent episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta because I thought it was the season finale, but I guess it's fucking not. And they asked Sheree what she got for her birthday. She was stuttering, trying to say she got an Alexander McQueen bag. Like, girl, when somebody asks you what you get for your birthday, it's not, like, come on. Like, you're lying. You're lying. That shit boring as hell. Ralph is a villain. I don't see how Drew, and then I saw on Candy Speak on it, she was asking, does Drew play into, like, the way Ralph treats her? Ralph is just a fucking villain. No, I don't think Drew plays into it because she's still there. She was still there for far too long. But like, Ralph's a villain. Ralph said, I want to be the Barack. I want you to be the Obama to my Barack. I want to be the Barack. You be the Obama. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, Ralph's insane because Ralph is one of those people. Ralph be on them little, those little like red pill insult alpha male. He be watching that type of shit on YouTube. Gots to be. Because like he'll say certain things and like you can just tell like he be on that stuff. Like he was talking about therapy and like he wasn't making no sense and he was like, no, you need to listen to me because what I'm saying is like this is actually some intelligent shit. Like I'm saying some intellectual shit and it's like, huh? What are you talking about, Ralph? Like you're dumb. You're dumb. That's what would kill me about being with Ralph. Because not only are you a mean bully, but you're also dumb. Like, can you imagine a dumb person trying to gaslight you? Oh my God. So no, that was terrible. But what it showed is that Drew is the only person on that goddamn show with a storyline. Drew is the only person on that goddamn show with a storyline. Oh my God. Nobody else is doing nothing. Nobody else is doing nothing. Oh my God, it was so fucking boring, but I was cooking chicken, so I had time. Anyways, that is all for this one. I will see you guys in another one. I'll see you guys Sunday for Kenya Has Thoughts, okay? Peace. Kenya Moore stands. Don't get mad at me. Y'all just kind of revisionists. Like, y'all kind of don't be fully telling the truth about y'all girl. Like, go watch that season of our reunion and be fucking for real with me, okay?